The terror of the depths, the mystery of large creatures, the history and mystery that surrounds the creature. Deep in the stories told of ancient times, deep in the lake, unexplored yet never known, lies a different world. Is it there or is it not? A lake is small and yet still endless. For the stories pass on, it's just like the music, mysterious and strange. And with that is my traditional introduction for a for a beast, which I always do introductions like that for.
Oh my god, who the hell cares?
So, hello everyone, welcome to a new video on my channel. I'm Adam, and this is Battle of the Beast, New Generation, episode number 47. So we already know what one of the fighters are, because obviously I would do an introduction related to this beast. So, without any further ado, let's introduce this beast. Representing Series 15, Velma's Revenge, Book number 3, the Slayer of Ronak in episode number 10. In round 2, the Slayer of Falra in episode number 36. And the Killer of Skrar in episode number 41. We have Plexor, the Raging Reptile. I can't think of anything else that I can do for the next round if he makes it through, so I want him to go far, but I kind of don't want him to go any further because I'm running out of things to introduce this video with. It would be nice to see him go through though. And his opponent, representing Series 25, the Prison Kingdom, the Slayer of Wrathcore, the Stampeding Brutes in episode number 14, the Killer of Thoron, the Living Storm in episode number 27, and the Slaughterer of Stritor, the Skeleton Dragon in episode number 45. Technically Stritor did yield, but that was after a good fight. So I wouldn't say Slaughter. Defeated. We have Lycaxa, Hunter of the Peaks. So, last battle we had two green-covered books fighting each other. This battle we have two purple-coloured books fighting each other. This is fun. I like this job. Shame I don't get paid for it though, but it's fine. So with that being said, now, both of you are doing this. Impus, Lucas, let's get to the stats.
Plexor, the Raging Reptile. Fishing communities in the Kingdom of Tangala tell scary stories about the legendary cursed fish whose capture brought in rains to help the farmers. But no one actually believes the story, even though they hold an annual festival in which they capture a model version of the creature. They should not be so careless, for beneath the waters lives Plexor, a monstrous reptile whose gaping mouth can swallow whole boats and unluckily fish folk. So, as you can see by the awesome stats and abilities, from breathing underwater to above water, agile, sharp fangs, intelligence, and a thick skull for smashing in his opponents, you can tell this non-stop fighter will prove aggressive in the tournament.
Questers beware! If you hear Lycaxa's bark, you may already be dead. Even though he's blind, Lycaxa has advanced hearing and the sense of smell. So advanced that he doesn't need his eyes. So, as you can see by his incredible stats, you're in for quite a challenge. Sharp claws, sharp fangs, high sense of smell, high sense of hearing, barks that create rock slides, earthquakes, and crevices depending on the environment. Agility, wall crawling based on the poor design. You're in for quite a match against this cunning foe.
3, 2, 1!
Plexor versus Lycaxa. Let's get into this. So, unfortunately, due to the fact it's another sea beast again versus a land beast again, I'm afraid I'm going to need to, Lucas is not going to like me here. I'm afraid I'm going to need to go back to the Catching Fire Hunger Games arena. So, Lucas, picture please. Thank you. So, yeah, the arena is the same one that Plexor's been fighting Ronak and, Skrar in. He didn't have to fight Falra in that arena, but, unfortunately, due to the fact that it's another land beast. Plexor, I think it's just fair. I think it's fair that Plexor fights Lycaxa in the clock arena. So, yeah, thank you, Lucas. So, with that being said, let's get into this fight. So, as the chamber doors open, Lycaxa bounds out, going along his spoke, just sensing the water around him. So, he's careful not to go in, just bounding along that wedge. That's not the right word. It's just spoke, isn't it? Yeah, bounding along the spoke to the center island, where he hears what sounds like a low, menacing groan just coming from the other side of the arena. And Lycaxa looks that way in confusion, never hearing a sound like that before, where he fails to see, because he's blind, where he fails to see Plexor just swimming down through the depths of the water. Just seeing his silhouette cast from the audience. The audience could see his silhouette just swimming underneath the spokes, making his way around the arena. And he pokes his head out of the water, roars at Lycaxa. Lycaxa turns around and goes to slash a claw at him. Plexor, however, is quite far away from Lycaxa. And then Plexor brings his head down to bash it onto Lycaxa. Lycaxa hears the wind like resisting against Plexor's head, so he senses, oh yeah, okay, he's going to attack. Lycaxa jumps out of the way for Plexor to smash his head into the ground. Lycaxa hears that and goes to slash at Plexor, where he slashes at Plexor's side of the face, where it just slashes on his cheek and just through like that on his eye, narrowly missing it again. But don't worry, Jade Eye, it's fine, it won't die. Lycaxa now has a good scent of Plexor, like a sea salt fishy scent. You know, like pretty much every fish in the sea. That's not an insult, by the way. That's an actual metaphor. Like every fish in the ocean is going to smell like that. That's not an insult, I promise. Please don't get offended. I did not even mean it like that. Plexor reels back up in pain from being scratched, but he's been through worse. Trust me, half his face melted in the last battle he was in. Plexor dives back below the water, and using his head and tail, he smashes through each spoke, creating a large gap that if Lycaxa wants to get to the other side of, he needs to jump over. Just smashing through each of them. Lycaxa's hearing all this and barks as loud as he can, causing the top of the arena wall to start crumbling, and it comes down onto the into the water where Plexor's dwelling. However, because Plexor's near the mid-center of the arena, not the actual center, but like the radius in the middle of that, my analogies are crap today. The rocks does not actually hit him. So what Lycaxa does again, he just barks, creating a chasm to appear below the water, where the water's starting to drain away. Plexor, realising this, using the rocks which Lycaxa's graciously dropped for him, and the spokes that he broke through, he uses that to fill up the chasm, or just block it off to where the water is still draining, but draining ever so slowly. However, Lycaxa does not notice this, and Plexor bursts his head out of the water again and snaps at Lycaxa. Lycaxa dodges it just in time, and greets Plexor by jumping onto his neck and digging his claws into Plexor's neck, to where Plexor is yelling, bellowing in pain. Lycaxa is now biting at Plexor, just trying to rip at the flesh, spitting out any of the flesh that he gets because it tastes like fish. Plexor is slamming Lycaxa against the arena wall. It doesn't, but Lycaxa is just enduring the pain like a boss, and is just climbing his way up Plexor's neck to where he's on top of Plexor's head, biting down on top of Plexor's head, digging his claws into it. Plexor, roaring in pain, dives below the water and is smashing his head against the arena wall, just crushing Lycaxa against it. And right when Lycaxa is sensing that the wall is about to crack, so what Lycaxa does when Plexor's about to go in for one last hit, Lycaxa jumps out of the way, swims up to the surface, and climbs on top of a spoke, shaking his fur to get rid of as much water as he can. At that point, though, Plexor has already smashed his head into the wall where secret tunnel has been hidden, and the water's draining through there. Plexor, in annoyance, bashes his head against the spoke that was above him, and just uses the rubble to just block it off. So the water's half drained by now, and it's still going. Plexor, in annoyance, is now using his tail, smashes through each of the remaining spokes, causing the gravity just to pull it down, and smashing through the center island just to crush that. Lycaxa, essentially his spoke is falling down, so he digs his claws into the wall of the arena just to save himself from the rubble, which is landing all around Plexor right now. Plexor gives out that low groan again. Lycaxa is weirdly weirded out by this sound, because he's never heard a sound like this before. Whilst he's clinging on for dear life, Lycaxa barks again, causing the arena wall to start tumbling down on top of Plexor and him as well. However, Lycaxa didn't realise that the rocks sort of hit him as well, so he falls down with the rocks. However, he's able to maneuver himself away. He's above the rocks and he lands on top of the rocks, which didn't hit Plexor, but Plexor sees that and charges towards Lycaxa, to where Lycaxa jumps out of the way. Plexor rams his head into the wall, and Lycaxa is now on top of Plexor again. Lycaxa barks, causing the ground to open up again. The rubble that's been used to block it off has just fallen down. The water's draining. Plexor, not wanting to lose his water, is trying to block it off as much as he can, but he's failing to because the barks are just too great now. And eventually all the water's gone. Plexor, realising he's now got no cover from attacks, he's now earthbound, I guess? He's now just shaking around violently, trying to smash Lycaxa off him. However, Lycaxa's already off him, already came off him after getting more neck slashes and wounds in there. Plexor sees Lycaxa, stares him down. Lycaxa can smell where Plexor is. Plexor charges up towards Lycaxa, swinging his tail to just knock him off his side, or just to snap at him. Lycaxa is able to just jump out of the way, dodging the tail, slashing it in the process. And with the head, he's able to jump backwards and dig his claws into Plexor's snout, to where he just pulls it with all his might, just making the big gash come out through Plexor's snout, causing blood to just seep out of Plexor. Plexor, enraged by this, swings his tail again to hit Lycaxa. However, Lycaxa's a bit too quick, moves his head in time to where he just bites down on Plexor's tail. Plexor is swinging him around now, just trying to smash him against the wall just to make him lose his grip. But Lycaxa's hanging in there, and using his claws, digs it into the tail and chomps down, biting straight through the bone of the tail, just snapping it clean off. Plexor, roaring in pain now, refusing to let Lycaxa beat him. Plexor's on a winning streak. To be fair, all the bees are on a winning streak though, so... Sorry to just dive out of that battle, but I just contradicted myself immediately after I said something. So, Lycaxa charges back towards Plexor, and Plexor is ready to snap at Lycaxa. However, Lycaxa is able to sense that, dodges it out of the way, and using his claws just slash along Plexor's neck. This way, not that way, this way. Multiple times, and blood starts gushing out of each gash that's been made. Plexor, roaring in pain, goes to snap at Lycaxa, and he catches Lycaxa by the tail, actually. He hoists Lycaxa up and slams Lycaxa into the ground, in which he then lets go of Lycaxa and brings his head down on top of him. Lycaxa rolls out of the way just in time for Plexor just smash his head into the one of the crevices, actually, and just knock his head forwards a bit, which obviously hurts him a bit. Plexor can feel himself getting...
I'm feeling woozy, yeah!
I really hope that happened, by the way. Plexor is able to see Lycaxa. Lycaxa is sensing where Plexor is. Lycaxa barks multiple times, opens up a giant crevice right below Plexor. Plexor, unable to get out of the way in time, falls down through the crevice, and seen at the bottom, he sees a bunch of stalactites. Is it called stalactites? At the bottom, rocky spikes at the bottom. Plexor tries to save himself by using his fins to grab onto the side of the wall, poke a little head hole in there, but all his efforts are in vain, and he falls down on top of the stalactites, impaling his body. Plexor gives one last groan of exhaustion, and his body collapses. So that being said, Plexor the Raging Reptile has lost, Lycaxa Hunter the Peaks has won. I'm really upset to see Plexor die. No, Plexor did a lot better than I thought he would, so I'm really proud of him to make it this far. So if you think Plexor should have won, please leave in the comments below why you think that. However, my word is final, and Lycaxa is the winner. Lycaxa is the second beast to make it through to the final four, and quite frankly, I'm kind of glad that Lycaxa made it through, because I kind of have I have a sneaky suspicion that Lycaxa would win, ever since my friend told me that Lycaxa has the most statistical advantage to win. And I was like, really? How? Well, he has a strong sense of smell. He could be able to sense and hear his opponent. So, fair enough, okay. Doesn't make him invincible, though. As we just saw, Plexor was able to grab him. But yeah, I'm happy with the fight, actually. The fight, in my opinion, is better than the previous fight of round 4. However, though, that is because I simply prefer Lycaxa and Plexor more than Morax and Technos. But that is actually all for this time. Plexor, I'm afraid, is gone, so no more running jokes of Loch Ness Monster introductions, I'm afraid. But I'll think of another running joke for the next tournament. Will it be with the same beast? I don't know. It'll be cool, but no. So join me in the next battle, which will have the last two join me in the next battle, which will have the final 3 beasts introduced to each other, and showing 2 beasts fighting each other, whilst the other will be skipping round 4. We'll be skipping round 4 and going straight into the final 4. Question is, which beasts will be doing that, and which beasts will be fighting each other? Till then, I've been Anna Ferns. Peace out.